Go ahead. Chuckles. God. Are you ready? Uh-huh. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. You're the worst. I hate it so much. I'm so mad.
I'm crying.
Good.
Just a sec. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood and Katrina Swathwood.
Hi.
So, I was by the mic and our music's playing and I didn't do it on purpose. Something in my throat went. and then you look so mad.
Well,
I can't control what happens.
Katrina, make sure we have a fade on the beginning of the episode. Okay.
I couldn't control what happened inside my throat. It's not like I'm going.
Or you do your little mouth noise.
What mouth noise?
The ones that you would do, and even though we had already started. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but I couldn't control
The gurgle.
that situation. Hello, everyone. We are back. We only took a short break, not a 5-month break this time. We did finally go out of our
bubble.
I mean, not in the sense of
we went to a different bubble.
We went up to the mountains for 3 days, 3 days ish. Anyways, we went up to the mountains like 2 hours north of where we live, and we rented a cabin. So we were all by ourselves and
Somewhere else.
Yeah, we went to. It ended up snowing for a day and a half, and we are from very warm, very sunny San Diego.
Temperate climate.
So going somewhere where it snowed for a day and a half was interesting. Yeah, I shoveled snow for the first time, so that was
That didn't turn out very well.
No,
did it?
it's Thursday, and I shoveled on Saturday, and my body still hurts. But I've got a fucked up body, so. I mean,
well, you're also not used to shoveling snow.
No, I'm not. But I mean, yes, when you do something you're not used to, you run the risk of.
Robert, when you were digging
yourself
out in the front yard, you were hurting for like a month and a half. So.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I said, hey, maybe I should help you do that. Okay.
Well, I mean, there wasn't that much, but obviously it didn't matter.
It was enough.
No. But yeah, we went out and we're back. We're not skipping episodes. It was just we were gone for a couple of days. So we're recording today and we're recording 3 days from now. So we have episodes coming out. I have looked at the downloads and, we really appreciate everybody listening. I know I say that, but, you can't say thank you enough to our listeners wherever they're at. And, I've heard some from some people outside the States. So that's pretty cool. It's always neat having listeners in other countries. So if you're listening from another country, hit me up and let me know where you're listening from. It's kind of cool. Some of you may know that I'm not just a movie fan or a comic fan or whatever I like, but I am a huge baseball fan.
That is an understatement.
Really?
Yeah.
What would be the correct statement? What would be just
you are beyond a fan.
What does that mean? Enlighten me.
Like, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I'm a fan of cheesecake or I'm a fan of cookies. Like, you're more than a fan of baseball. Like, you live and breathe it when it's baseball season.
I love baseball. It's the best sport. It just is. I know
That's
most
up for
people don't
debate,
agree with me.
but
I really like baseball, and for once, baseball is crossing over with. There's always baseball video games, but for once, my favorite team is crossing over with a video game.
Your team is back on the map.
Oh man, it's so nice. So this was the first year, but the Padres went back to, yes, we're from San Diego. Padres are my favorite team. They've been my team since I was 9 years old, when my grandparents started taking me to baseball games. And if you don't know about the Padres, or if you're one of our fans that listen in another country, the Padres are terrible. They are
awful.
One of the
painstakingly just awful.
I've lived through a lot of bad seasons. And, maybe those seasons I wouldn't watch, but I'm still good for cool. I would still watch baseball every year because I love the game. And since I was a kid, there hasn't been very many winning seasons. We've been one of the teams that's like the laughing stock of baseball.
It's like, oh, there's the Padres.
So a couple years ago, yeah, for sure. So a couple years ago, we got new ownership. New ownership invested in 2 years and 2 players $488 million. So we're like, cool.
Which is a stark contrast from prior years.
Yeah. So and we've got this young player that people may have heard of named Fernando Tatis Jr., who announced 2-3 days ago that he is the youngest player ever to be on the cover of MLB The Show 2021. So
Well, just MLB The Show in general, right?
yeah. I mean, it's 2021.
Right.
It's this year's.
Well, of course he could be the youngest player because there's only one player on the cover.
Yeah, but it's been around for years.
No, I understand. That's why I said MLB The Show and not MLB The Show 2021.
So shut up.
No.
People understand
Nobody?
what I'm saying. Okay, we could go. He's the youngest on MLB The Show 2021 because the other cover person on the special edition is Jackie Robinson.
Well, then, yes, he's definitely younger than him.
Yes. Anyway, so we have, the Padres have the face of baseball on our team. It's like having Patrick Mahomes on the Padres, and we are a very small market team, or so they let everybody think. Now we are spending all kinds of money, and we are the second or third, depending on what site you look at, second or third most likely team to win the World Series next year.
Yay.
Which is extremely exciting because I've usually gone into every season knowing we were going to lose more games than we would win.
And there would be no postseason.
And there would be no postseason. So
you got a little taste last year.
Yeah, we got a little taste last year. We won the wild card round and got swept by the Dodgers in the second round, which sucked. But
It is what it is.
They lost their 2 best starting pitchers. So, but no, it comes out. Tatis is just this young 22-year-old flashy kid having fun playing ball, and it's so fun to watch. And the fact that
it's like good fun.
Yeah.
It's not bad fun.
He's smiling, he's dancing, they're high-fiving, they're just having so much fun, and it just radiates off this kid. You just see how much joy he plays with, and it's so fun to watch.
It's infecting the team, which is, I think, is important because you need that, especially in a town like ours when the draw is, it's the Padres, let's go on a Sunday, so we're not wasting a whole day or, trying to figure out a night.
It would be, let's go to the game, so afterwards we can go get drinks in the gas lamp. Or,
right.
Or, let's go to the game because the stadium's nice. Now, when fans are let back into the stadium,
they're going to watch the game.
It's going to be sold out. As soon as things turn a corner and they can have fans, of course, since there's going to be a lower attendance, they're going to be sold out. But, those games are going to be sold out. It's the only major league sports team in town. Tatis is on the cover of a goddamn video game.
You're elated.
It's so nice. And he's like, the whole town has rallied around the team and Tatis and Machado, and Tatis may be all the flash and everything, and so is Machado. Man, that guy can play, but Machado is the captain of that team.
Right.
He you can tell, and
he runs the ship.
Yeah, and so does Hosmer to a point. They got Hosmer for that reason, but yeah, Tatis has crossed over from my passion for baseball into my passion for video games, and I get to go buy a video game with my shortstop.
Is that going to be a release day purchase?
Oh yeah, it is now. My shortstop on the cover of a fucking major game.
Have the Padres ever graced anything like that?
So I didn't think so, but somebody posted a PlayStation 1 game that had Tony Gwynn on it.
Okay, well, he's another anomaly. So I would say Tony Gwynn's an anomaly for the Padres, right?
Yeah.
And so is Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah. But you haven't followed for that long. They traded Gary Sheffield and got a bunch of garbage, and one of them happened to be Trevor Hoffman. They got lucky. And, he played most of his career here. Tony Gwynn played his whole career here, and hopefully, in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, this is going to be a true test for the Padres. Like, are they really going to pony up and pay the cash?
Well, when you have the face of baseball on your team.
You hope so.
And he's only played 139 games total.
I'm just saying, like, I think it's going to be a really big test for this management team to see what they're going to do and what decisions they make, because it's going to determine the trajectory for like the next at least 5 to 10 years.
He's either what was that?
What?
Doesn't matter. Anyways, he's either signing a 7-year deal, so he gets a free agent at like 29, or a 15-year deal, so he's signed on until he's like 37.
Okay.
It's going to be either short or long. It's not going to be like an in between, because it doesn't make sense for him to be a free agent at 30, 31. But if he can come in at 29, he's still got a lot of time left. So,
we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, but it's going to be like $25 to $35 million a year.
It'll be great I hope they do. Like, they need to keep the momentum going. They don't need to turn around, because that's like the story of the Padres.
Foot on the gas.
We have this player and they're pretty good. Oh, let's get rid of them and send them somewhere else.
But with tradition, it's hard to tie that to them when it's new ownership
Right.
for the last,
Correct.
6 years. And they tried right when the new ownership came in, and it failed spectacularly.
Right.
It was terrible. But then their GM traded everybody away and got a bunch of prospects and has pieced the team together. And now they're one of the top 3 teams in all of baseball. And I couldn't be happier. We, who knows if fans are going to be let in the stands, but we have season tickets this year. So that's kind of cool. Man, it's cool he's on the cover. Did you see the promo for it?
I didn't.
You got to watch it. It's only 30 seconds.
Okay.
But it's a
Is
big...
it the bat flip?
the bat flip is him on the cover, which is crazy.
I saw the cover.
That's not a photo shoot. That was like...
Right. That just happened in game.
No, it's like he's apologizing for breaking the rules and saying that he's not going back, and he's sorry that baseball is that much more exciting now. So it was pretty good. And combine the fact that they traded for Yu Darvish and they signed a second baseman from Korea, and Tatis is already big in the Dominican. He's going to be an international superstar.
Oh, for sure.
Because his
endorsement deals are just going to start.
Yep. He's already sponsored by Gatorade. He's only the 3rd player.
I think got BMW too.
BMW.
Adidas.
I think it's Adidas, but lots of stuff.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's going to be an international superstar as long as he does. I mean, just watching him, even if he was average with that attitude, he would be a superstar. But he's...
Well, he for sure has charisma, coming out the wazoo. So.
And he's got the confidence. I think that comes along the lines with having your dad being in the league for 10 years. I mean, his dad played for... I'm just going to... off the top of my head, because I heard it recently, he played for the Rangers, the Expos, the Cardinals, the Mets, and the Orioles. So he played for
quite a few teams.
5 teams. Well, his dad wasn't him. When you have a major league father who can teach you all the ins and outs, you're going to obviously, as a parent, you want your kid to be better than you anyways.
Always. So,
I mean, I saw a video of his dad talking to him about his front leg, like this last season. He was going home after a road trip, and his dad's immediately talking to him about his front leg.
Your stance is just awful. You just need to fix it.
But no, I had to talk about Tatis being on the cover because it's...
Well, congratulations.
To him, yes.
Oh, I meant to
all
you.
of us. We've been waiting for this as Padre fans. We've been waiting for this team for so long. Some of us for decades and decades and decades. Because I think my history is not mistaken. I think the Padres have been around since 1969.
Okay.
I think.
That's a fair estimate.
So, yeah. And we haven't won a World Series. So, hopefully, in the next couple of years.
Well, if the Cubs can do it.
And the Red Sox. But, Theo Epstein was in charge of both of those teams, which is crazy. That one guy was the GM.
So that just means that he made a deal with the devil. So
now he works for baseball. Anyways, and I wanted to move on to WandaVision. I don't know who else is watching WandaVision.
I think it's a mixed bag. I think some people like it a lot, and then some people just aren't about it at all.
I hope if you're one of the ones listening and you're not about it, you watch 1 or 2 episodes and you're like, F this. Watch until the 4th episode. There's a big turn. I don't want to give anything away, but you kind of get some explanation of what's going on. If you're not familiar with WandaVision, it's obviously about Wanda.
And Vision.
And Vision, yeah. Why can't I think of her name right now? What's her... Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Scarlet Witch and Vision. And it takes place after the events of Endgame. Yes, after Endgame.
Yes.
Yes. And, it's the first Marvel TV show. There's going to be several more. You know what? It was just Don Cheadle just said that he is in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I like Don Cheadle.
I do too. I don't know if he's going to be in it a lot.
He's a good roadie.
He is a good roadie. I like him and his chemistry with with Robert Downey Jr. is really good.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, they had a really good relationship. You could
That was
tell.
a really good transition from two different actors, in my opinion.
Yes. I think most people have good chemistry with Robert Downey Jr.
Because he's likable.
He seems like he brings out the fun in people.
He's already lived a couple lives, so he's
Yeah.
not so
Yeah, for sure.
crazy anymore.
But most the Marvel cast seems like they're just having fun.
Well, look what they're getting paid to do.
Yeah.
To play pretend in a world where they have like superpowers and
Yeah.
like that's got to be a lot of fun.
Some pictures from Love and Thunder came out this week.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, Thor's got his long hair back.
Oh, does he?
I like the short hair better.
I did too.
Yeah.
Because I liked it when it was like all hacked off, like
Yeah.
in weird spots.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
it was
good.
funny.
But WandaVision is the first show, and it's very different. If you haven't watched it, it's the first handful of episodes take place as sitcoms. The first episode was okay. I feel like the second episode you really got some drama as to what the hell's going on.
Well, you get little tidbits.
Yeah, and I've read a lot of comics. I haven't read the storyline that is similar to what is going on. Not exactly what's going on, but what is similar to going on. But I know of it, so I know some things that are possibly coming. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know anything, but going back to the first episode, like, did you never watch any, like, I Love Lucy? Oh, it was Dick Van Dyke,
It was
right?
Dick Van Dyke. I never watched any Dick Van Dyke. I did watch I Love Lucy. I did watch a little bit of Bewitched, and I watched a lot of Brady Bunch.
Okay.
So, I mean, Brady Bunch was the third episode.
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
But the second episode and third episode, you really get these little moments where, especially, I really like Paul I like Elizabeth Olsen a lot. I like Paul Bettany a lot. They have a really good chemistry as well.
They do.
But Paul Bettany's face of concern.
Oh, it's like earth-shattering.
When there's in those moments hits so hard, and you're like, what does he know? What does he know?
Like,
he
what's
knows
going
something's
on?
off. Yeah, and he looks around so concerned. Or there's a part in the second episode where Wanda just goes, no.
Yep.
And everything goes. Brrr.
Yep.
It's the first one was almost all positive. There was one moment towards the end that was a little like, what's going on?
Right.
But you get a few of those moments in the second episode, quite a few moments in the third episode. And I don't even want to talk about what's going on in the fourth episode. Fifth episode comes out tomorrow. But I'm really enjoying it. The first episode, I was like, eh. The second episode, I was like, okay. And the third episode.
Well, how many episodes are in the season?
I don't know.
Okay.
Look it up. But the fourth episode gives you a big explanation of what's going on. So if you're wondering if you should stick it out, watch to the fourth episode, and if you don't like it after that, I think you can just toss it to the side. There's no shame in admitting that something's not your thing, especially after 4 episodes. I mean, you can
It's
just
4 hour. They're half-hour.
they're half hours.
So, I would say I agree. Like, that's 4 storylines that if you're really not getting into it and you really don't like it,
Yeah.
bow out.
I think if you've watched all the Marvel movies, you're pot committed. I mean, you're already committed, and if you are committed and a company knows that, they can kind of slack off. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think this is really building towards something big, and I wanna go into what may happen, the speculation of what's going on. How many episodes is it?
I'm having a hard time finding it.
I want to say it was. Well, how many episodes of The Mandalorian are there? Is it 8 or 10? I think it's either 8 or 10.
Right. They're not very long.
No, they're not super long. Mandalorian episodes are a little longer. They're around 40 to 45 minutes. These are closer to 30. But the speculation there's speculation about something Elizabeth Olsen said in an interview.
I saw some things about that.
And I don't know the exact quote, but it was along the lines of saying there is a cameo in this show at some point that is big as the cameo in the end of The Mandalorian. And I'm going to say spoiler alert, spoiler warning, whatever the hell you want to call it. If you haven't watched the end of The Mandalorian, stop listening now, and you can listen after you've caught up. So Elizabeth Olsen's
9 episodes.
Okay, it's 9 episodes. So Elizabeth Olsen said there's a cameo coming in WandaVision that is as big as Luke Skywalker appearing in The Mandalorian.
Well, this show is their new kickoff for their next phase.
Well,
so
wasn't Homecoming or Far From Home the kickoff?
I don't
'Cause
think
it took
so. I
pla-
think
it
that's like a PTSD take on what happened.
But it took place after
It did.
Endgame.
But I think this is a kicking off point for a new vein and a new road.
And there's speculation and talk that this is tying into the Doctor Strange movie, which Sam Raimi is, I think, officially directing now.
Really?
Yeah, which is cool. There's, talk that this is going to tie into the Doctor Strange movie and the multiverse and yada, yada, yada. But if Doctor Strange was a cameo, that wouldn't do anything. That wouldn't be as big as Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
Okay.
I don't think
That's
so
fair.
because he's a current character in the line, and Luke Skywalker is not.
So are you thinking somebody who's supposedly dead comes back?
I think it's either something like that, or there's some talk that it might be somebody from the X-Men.
That would be interesting.
It would be the first character from the X-Men that is introduced into the MCU ever.
Right.
Because there are none.
No.
I mean, there's, they have Scarlet Witch and they had Quicksilver, who were, I believe, in X-Men comics primarily. Yell at me online if that's
Berate
not
me.
true. But I believe that that's the fact. And what better way to introduce mutants or somebody from the X-Men than in this scenario?
Like, are you thinking it's Professor X?
That would be cool. What if I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking in general, like, how cool would it be if you saw Wolverine or Cyclops
like if
or
you're
Beast?
thinking like it's a mutant in the sense like who can find mutants?
Well, not only that, who could get her out of
What
the
loop
world
she's in.
created?
Right.
other
Jean
than
Grey.
Professor X or Jean Grey.
Right. Exactly.
Oh wow, man! If Professor
Sorry.
X,
Did
no,
I
that's
just blow something open?
that was a eureka moment. It's an epiphany.
Well, like, and are you thinking it's like the astral plane?
Well, we really don't know. I mean, in the comics, I believe, and again, I don't know because I didn't read this. I apologize. She created this world after her children died.
To basically rewind and relive.
Well, Billy and Tommy died, and she created this world because she's like a class 1 level mutant. She's extremely powerful.
Yes.
I mean, even in Endgame, you saw her wrecking Thanos before he...
Well, there was the picture, and I didn't even think about it. She was destroying a stone while holding off him with the other stones.
Yeah.
So she was basically fighting 5 stones at once.
Yeah. I mean, she's something else. So it's interesting where it's going to go. If this is episode 5, we only have 4 episodes after this. So in the next 5 episodes, so the next 5 weeks, we're going to know something big about the MCU.
You think it's probably going to come in the last episode?
Probably. You would think.
They would either pair it at the very end of the 8th episode so they can carry on more story into the last episode to trigger you to want to watch more the next time it comes out, or they would leave it like they did with The Mandalorian and just leave it for the last episode.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of cool things they can do.
Right.
I'm pretty excited about it, especially after this. Man, I want to talk about. Did you notice the throwback? Man, I really don't. Okay, spoilers. Just don't listen if you haven't watched episode 4. Sorry, we need to talk
We
about
have
it.
waited quite a while. Like,
Yeah.
it's tomorrow for the new one.
Yeah, it's been a week. So, the FBI agent. What was his name?
Oh, I don't know. But
I know
yes.
everybody just calls him Asian Jim, but he has a name.
Asian Jim.
Well, it's true. I mean,
know, he is.
But he was in Ant-Man.
Yes.
And Ant-Man, Scott Lang was on house arrest, and he was doing that magic card trick, like with the card, the reappearing card, and the agent couldn't do it. And then when he was walking up to Rambo, who is the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend. Remember we were talking about that?
Yes.
So you know what else this dealt with? The first time you saw people coming back from the snap in real time.
Yes, I actually liked that.
Yeah,
a lot.
big time. It's the first time
It was like chaos.
Far From Home.
Agent Wu.
Agent Wu. In Far From Home, it discussed people that had come back from the snap, but this is when you were actually seeing people come back from it piece by piece.
Where they were
Yeah.
when they left.
Yeah, and there was people running into each other. It
Yeah.
was a catastrophe. But the character that they introduced in episode 3, who they elaborated on episode 4, is I can't remember her first name, but her last name's Rambo, and her mom was
Monica.
Monica. Her name's Monica Rambo,
Mm-hmm.
and her mom was Captain Marvel's best friend in the movie. So when Agent Wu is walking up to her, he does the card. He flips the card into his hand like a magic trick that he was trying to learn in Ant-Man, which I like little nods like that. It's fun to see. You know, not everybody catches it, but when you do, it's like, oh, that was really cool. Like I
know what that is.
I didn't catch that her name was Rambo and that she was.
Oh,
the
I didn't
daughter.
either at all.
I was reading something after the fact about it, but man, I really hope it's a new. If the X-Men would be so cool, but it's introducing. It's the perfect time since they can't release movies. You know what I mean?
Right. No, they have a great opportunity right now to kind of tell stories that they want to tell in a short form versus a long form, because that also eliminates the need to have all these filler movies too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't have to have a full length feature movie to tell the story.
Well, you can introduce these characters, X-Men or whoever else.
And then add them to the main line later down the road when you're, you know, filming something grand.
Well, you know, Disney didn't buy Fox and get all these characters back to not have movies.
Right.
You know, I know the slate's out and they haven't, introduced any timelines for releasing
Fantastic Four,
X-Men, or anything like that. But you know that it's only a matter of time. And since it's only a matter of time, you know they're going to get introduced at some point. But why not now? Get people excited about the future while we're waiting for movies to come out. Because these movies are so big. They're not going to release them like they did with some of the smaller movies on.
Well, look how long they've been waiting on Black Widow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They keep pushing it off.
Like they want that to be a theatrical release. They do not want that to be for purchase, like with the Mulan, what they did with that. Like you had to purchase it to watch it when they released it.
Yeah. And I'd be okay with that if they released the movie like that to pay for. But I know a lot of people, I already paid for Disney Plus. Why should I have to pay extra for a movie? Well, it's because you would be paying for it theatrically if you went to see it in theaters. And if you weren't going to go see it in theaters, then don't pay for it now. They're not making you pay the extra money. I was more than happy to.
And they would put it up on the platform a couple months down the road.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen. So if you want to wait to watch it, wait to watch it.
So there was a lot of people who wanted John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to play Mr. Fantastic
Susan Storm.
And I was on board with that. I really liked the idea of bringing John Krasinski into the Marvel Universe. Emily Blunt was supposed to play Black Widow, but she had a
conflicting
schedule. So there's a thing going around that and I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize.
Apologies.
Rahul Kohli to play Mr. Fantastic.
Rahul or Raul?
Rahul. Not Raul.
Okay.
Raul is R-A-U-L.
Yes.
This is R-A-H-U-L.
Oh, okay.
And he is the gentleman from Bly Manor.
Okay.
With the mustache.
I like him.
I like him a lot too. He has
a very nice delivery in his dialogue.
Yes. I think he would be excellent in the MCU. He's got a quick wit about him.
Yeah.
He's got perfect timing. He seems like he has the acting chops. He seems like he's on the up trajectory, but he hasn't quite hit A-lister yet.
Okay.
Which seems to be like a lot of how that Chris Hemsworth wasn't a household name. Chris Evans wasn't thought of as,
oh God, no.
You know, a guy who could pull this off. Robert Downey Jr. couldn't even get a job.
He couldn't get insured.
Yeah.
That was something different.
And then you look at directors like James Gunn, who had done Slither and a lot of lower budget movies, and the Russo brothers weren't really big, and Taika Waititi had done smaller movies, and then they get launched into stardom with these. So I feel like he'd be a really good pick for Mr. Fantastic. But
a nice pickup.
Yes, but especially when they're trying to, you know, they're really putting an effort into bringing in more diverse casts, which I'm 100% all for. It doesn't have to look like it did in the comics. I'm sorry, people. You can get over yourselves.
Somebody else can play a different character.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, like Valkyrie, that was a perfect casting.
Oh, she's great. But I mean, where it might not have been a good movie, Michael Clark Duncan is Kingpin in Daredevil. He's a visually intimidating man.
Yes, he is.
And Vincent D'Onofrio played an excellent Kingpin.
Oh,
he was
he did.
so good.
He was so scary.
Yeah. But he played it like in a completely different way. Back to what I was talking about. I'm really hoping this cameo is big and it's not being...
Now, are you going to be dumb and let it get ruined for you like you did for the Mandalorian reveal?
Yeah, the Luke Skywalker thing was ruined for me.
Like, you really have to not look at stuff like the day. Like, tomorrow, you should probably not look at Twitter at all.
Okay. It's just... it's
Okay. I know it's hard.
People should have some sort of respect. I guess they just don't.
No.
That's not surprising.
I've done it. So, it's...
I guess my golly gee whiz attitude just believes that people should have respect for each other, and they just don't.
No. You can't count on other people to be respectful.
We have one of our listeners who's in a group chat with some friends where one of the guys in the chat just fucking spoils things instantaneously after he watches them.
Why would you be a part of that group chat?
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't even...
Absolutely.
No.
And he's done it multiple times about multiple things. And it's like, at what point do you kick him out of your group chat?
Or block that phone number so you don't get messages.
Man. Terrible. But I'm hoping this is a big cameo. And if you haven't watched WandaVision yet, I think you should. And if you have watched an episode or two and you didn't like it, stick it out for 2 more episodes.
They were fun. Like, that's what I don't understand about people being like, I don't like it. It's weird. Like, they were fun.
They were. And I agree they were fun. However, if you've been watching all these Marvel movies before and it's unlike anything that's been like this before, you might be like, "Whoa, this is stupid."
I can understand that, but if you're so in love with the Marvel universe and story and wanting to be a part of that timeline and knowing what's going on, you think you'd be able to power through. Like, I know we watched it with our kids and it was really, really hard to get them to watch the first 2 episodes. Like,
I think the first episode was rough. I feel like Parker kind of settled down in the second episode, and the third and fourth, it just got even more in that direction.
Well, because I think you have to also understand is that she's trying to create this happy-go-lucky, lovey
Yes.
world, and that's what the first episode is about. And then you slowly see it deteriorate into reality of what's actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's slowly getting more and more serious. And because even at the end of the 3rd episode,
Oh yeah,
when
big
Vision
time.
goes outside and his neighbors are talking,
Yeah,
like that got really, really tense,
and you
really
can see
fast.
the edge of the set.
Yeah.
So there was a tension there it was like, ooh.
Because it started off okay. He's like, hey, what's going on? And then it like quickly went downhill really fucking fast.
Yeah.
So, I think you have to also take it in that context is you're seeing her delusion morph into a reality.
No, I agree 100%. I'd like to add on to that and say that it might be the silliest thing that Marvel's put out at the beginning,
Oh, for sure.
but I think it's going to be the most serious by the end of the
The
season.
payoff is probably going to be well worth.
Because it's building. You're right. That tension is building
Yeah.
towards something.
It was palpable. Like, he just really couldn't understand like what they were talking about and what
Yeah.
was happening.
But he knows something's wrong.
Right.
But who is he?
That's a good question.
So, yeah.
Is it just a construct of her mind
Yeah, I don't know.
that's
I know
materializing?
that she looked at him once and he was dead.
Right.
And it was like, ooh.
That was really creepy.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised Oliver didn't freak out about that.
Yeah. So, I do recommend watching it. We're going to sign off here in a second. We watched the first episode of a thing called 30 Coins as well, which was
Very
all
weird.
kinds of weird and creepy.
All over the place.
Yeah. I want to watch another episode at least just to see
If it's worth
if it's
sticking it out.
worth it. It's an exorcism, horror, mystery, adventure type show that has to do with the 30 coins of silver Judas was paid for betraying Jesus.
Yes.
So it's interesting. I like horror movies and stuff. I'm not typically into exorcism things.
Or religious
Yeah.
tracks.
The first episode I semi enjoyed. I want to watch 1 or 2 more just to see if it's for me, and if it's not, then I'll just sign off on that. But yes, WandaVision good.
I enjoy it.
Tatis on the cover of the show good.
That's just good. It's not fantastical.
Oh God, I was so excited. Like the town just lit up. Like it was cool. But no, that'll be this. I'm not gonna say this week's episodes anymore.
Okay, that'll just be this episode.
No, I'm not ready yet. I don't want to say this week's episode because we're trying to do,
multi-episodes per
couple
week.
episodes a week. So I'm trying to find a new
Sign off.
not sign off, but sign in because I'm saying, hey, this is Robert.
And that's the way it is.
No. I'm not. Don't stop. Don't.
I'm not doing anything.
You keep reaching for something.
Jeez.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a new way to
wrap it up.
No, not wrap it up. Stop. At the beginning, I say it's this week's episode. So that'll be this week's dang it! I just did it. That'll be this episode of 9 to 5 Nerds. Flame on.